Chosen one, there are truths your soul remembers that your mind was never meant to translate. And that isn't a flaw, it's protection. Because when something is sacred, it doesn't announce itself. It hides, it prepares, it waits for the right moment to reveal its power. And right now, you are that sacred thing. You've been asking yourself lately, why do I wake up feeling like I've lived an entire lifetime in my sleep? Why do I carry a heaviness in my chest, as if I returned from somewhere I can't recall? Why does my body rest, yet my spirit feels like it never stopped moving? But before we go deeper, take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe to help us reach 1,000 souls on this journey, and comment with the number 99. That number carries energy's sacred alignment and sends a clear signal to the universe that you are ready. Let me tell you something most people aren't ready to hear. You're not tired because you're lazy. You're tired because your soul has been walking in places your conscious mind hasn't yet been allowed to name. You've been receiving instructions you don't remember, not because they were forgotten, but because they weren't meant for your memory. They were meant for your calling. This isn't just about dreams. This is about divine information woven into your spirit while you weren't looking. The chosen aren't trained like everyone else. You're not only taught in the light, you're forged in the shadows, in silence, in confusion where nothing makes sense, yet everything is transforming. That pressure you've been feeling lately, the one that builds even when life appears normal, is not anxiety. That's your future calling you forward. That's your spirit cracking open beneath the weight of everything it's been entrusted with. You've been asking to remember your dream. But what if I told you some things are too divine to be remembered too soon? Because once you remember, you're responsible. And sometime, God would rather protect your destiny than rush your ego into action. The blueprint isn't written on a scroll or in a dream journal. It's already inside you, etched into your bones, coded into your very being. Instinct, that unexplainable knowing that rises within you without being taught. It's not random. It's the soul's intelligence in action. Because while memory fades, what's encoded remains. Your soul has been recording every revelation it has ever received. That moment you jolted awake at 3:33 a.m. That name whispered in your sleep, only to vanish by morning. That eerie but calming sense that someone was standing over you, not to scare you, but to confirm you. You weren't imagining it. You were being visited, trained, aligned. You weren't chosen to simply dream. You were chosen to embody prophecy, and the enemy knows that. That's why the warfare has intensified. That's why your sleep has started to feel more like a battlefield than a place of rest. Why even after 8 hours, you wake up exhausted because you've been fighting spiritual battles in realms unseen. While the world sleeps for recovery, you sleep for preparation. Every dream you've forgotten wasn't a loss. It was a seed, planted deep, watered in mystery, growing in silence, waiting for your spirit to become strong enough to carry what your memory couldn't hold. But hear me clearly, your forgetting is not failure. It is encryption. The most sacred revelations come sealed, protected, because if they surface too soon, they be distorted, tampered with by fear, doubt, or the opinions of others who were never meant to understand what you've been shown. So instead, you were hidden, your visions delayed, your dreams veiled, not because you're weak, but because you're important. And this pressure you've been under lately is not random. It's the sound of your soul aligning with a memory that hasn't surfaced yet, but will, not in fragment, not in flashes, but in full, blazing clarity when the time is right. You don't need to chase the dreams you forgot. They never left you. They've been walking beside you all along, quietly shaping your word, your choices, your path. You've been speaking things lately without realizing why, but soon you will. There are moments you've lived that were answers to prayers you barely remember praying. You've stepped into rooms and felt an unshakable sense of deja vu, not because you've been there before in body, but because your spirit rehearsed it long ago in the realm of dream. And now, your life is simply catching up to the timing of your soul. You're not being left behind. You are being synchronized. Very soon, everything you felt without words, everything you carried in silence, everything you sensed but couldn't explain will begin to move, not just within you, but through you. Your voice will change not in tone, but in weight. Because when someone speaks from a place beyond memory, people feel it. There's a different kind of authority, a deeper kind of presence that fills a room when a soul begins to remember its assignment. That presence is rising in you. And here's what happens next. The veil won't lift all at once. It never does. It will come in glimpses, in fragments, in quiet moments tucked inside ordinary life, while doing dishes, walking down the street, staring at the sky. Suddenly, You'll pause and you'll know, not remember, not imagine, know, and that knowing will terrify your old self because the version of you that needed proof, that waited for permission, that relied on validation, cannot survive what's coming. That version was never meant to carry this level of clarity. But the version emerging now, the one who doesn't need the full map to take the first step, the one who listens to instinct like it's scripture, that's the one God has been building in silence. You're no longer just a dreamer. You are the dream unfolding, and the world doesn't need another person chasing clarity. It needs someone brave enough to become it. So when the next moment of recognition comes, when the memory presses against your chest like it's trying to break through, don't run, don't doubt, receive it, because when it comes, it won't whisper, it will thunder, it might interrupt you, it might wreck your routine, but when it arrives, it will activate something ancient inside you, a deep, unshakable voice whispering, you've been here before, you were prepared for this. You're not remembering by accident, you're remembering on cue, and that's when it will all begin to make sense. Why you were protected, why you were hit, why certain doors never opened, because they weren't your doors, they were distractions dressed as destiny. Now, your true assignment is stepping forward, and it's not something you have to chase. It's something you've been carrying all along. It's already yours. This is why your presence has been disrupting rooms lately. Why people glance at you and pause, not because of charisma and not by coincidence. It's the vibration of someone walking with divine intel. Even if they don't understand what you know, they know that you know something, and that's not something you can fake, because there's a difference between someone who talks about dreams and someone who's been living them unconsciously for years, receiving code, holding blueprint, carrying truths too sacred to be spoken until now. That's who you are now, and from this point forward, everything changes. You won't be chasing what you lost. You'll be aligning with what's surfaced. It won't arrive with thunder. It will come with precision. You'll speak less, but say more. You'll walk into situations that once overwhelmed you and feel clear, not because the chaos vanished, but because you finally remembered who you are inside it. This is not the season of searching. This is the season of remembering. And not everyone will understand that. Some will say you've changed. Some will feel threatened by the ease with which you begin to move. But don't explain yourself. You were never meant to. You were never supposed to convince them. You were supposed to become. You see, you weren't just trained to handle dreams, you were trained to carry messages. And some of those messages will never be written down. They'll be spoken through your presence, through your courage, through your peace in moments where peace shouldn't exist. The enemy has seen it. That's why the resistance has been so relentless. Because the moment you become aware of what you carry, it's game over for everything that tried to silence it. So let this be your confirmation. You haven't been forgetting. You've been entrusted. And now, you're finally ready to hold it with open eyes and steady hand. From this day forward, walk like someone who has returned from a hidden realm, not with arrogance, but with authority. Because the most powerful messengers don't yell. They radiate, and the ones most dangerous to the darkness, they're not the loudest. They're the ones who no longer need to remember, because they become the message itself. Chosen one, you are the message now. It's no longer about the dream. It's about what you do next with what was sealed inside your soul long before you were born. You are not late. You are not lost. You are right on time. And now, the seal is cracking. The flame is rising. The echo is turning into a voice. And that voice is yours. So declare it. Type it. Speak it with every fiber of your being. I'm not forgotten. I'm being activated. Because this time it's not a dream. It's a return. And you are ready.